Um, Definitely a different video today, but I don't know. A lot of stuff has just been going on, I guess, and I kind of want to just, I don't know, just talk about it. Um, I don't really know how to start this, but I don't know. I've been struggling with loneliness recently, I guess. Not I guess. I've been struggling with it. I don't know. Just kind of like seeing all of my other friends like start getting into relationships and stuff like that. Kind of makes me feel left out. I feel like I can't really fit in anymore. And I mean, throughout this past year, there have been a few people that I've been like talking to, I guess you could say, where I've definitely been interested in them. And I thought they were interested in me as well. But they got drier and drier. And what I kind of noticed about myself was that, you know, I was changing the way I was acting to to what I would think would be more like into them. I wanted them to like me. But I mean, that's not, of course, that didn't happen. And, you know, I'm here now. But I mean, thinking back now, I mean, if they did like me and they became dry like that, it's originally my fault, you know? I don't know, like, what comes over my own self to think, to, like, change my own self for others. Normally, I like to think of myself as, like, you know, a pretty nice guy, decently outgoing. I have a group of friends, I participate in sports, I do well in school, I just have, like, a basic life. And I mean, like, once I meet friends and then I start gaining an interest into them, right? I don't know what succumbs over me. Like, a switch in my brain just gets flipped, and I change from, like, that outgoing, laughable guy to just being like, I don't really know how to put it. I just kind of agree to everything that they say. I become a people pleaser, but only for that one specific person. And I mean, this has happened twice, and I keep thinking that it's my fault. And I know that it's because I am changing, but I just don't want it to, like, I don't want to think that way. Um, but going back to the main topic, I don't want to say their names, but this most recent one, I'll just call her Stephanie. I don't, that's not her real name, but yeah, just a placeholder. Um, but I am on the volleyball team at my school, and we actually shared a volleyball class together. She's also on the volleyball team, respectively. Um, and like, being on the team, I'm friends with pretty much the whole entire team. Um, and I met this one guy. His, uh, I'll just say his name was Bob, and Bob was Stephanie's brother, but I didn't know that at the time. And um, I just like hanging out with Bob. He's a really chill person. Um, but eventually, what up happening was during the volleyball class that I was in, she started coming to that because she didn't have a period and playing volleyball. And when she came in, I welcomed her in. It was like I felt like I wanted to just like be friends with her. Her brother was on the team, and I thought we could share some experiences with that. And overall, it was a good experience. I stayed true to my own self, and yeah. But then something kind of switched. Um, you know, I started to joke around with Bob, Stephanie's brother, about like, I don't know, going into a relationship with her and stuff because I knew he wouldn't want that. Um, but that joke, it kind of turned into something true. And over these past couple of weeks, stuff has been happening, and I didn't really know I didn't know how to feel anymore. And just going throughout like all of the volleyball days of going to class and then seeing her and then wondering like how I actually feel about her, and then her actually coming to our games, uh, to see her brother, but me being selfish, I thought she was coming partially for me. And just kind of rethinking over this, I don't know why I thought that, but I don't know, just having someone, or just having the thought of someone actually liking me and enjoying my presence, made me pretty happy. And then eventually, I got her number from a group chat that we were in during the volleyball class. We got together with a group of friends and hung out and played volleyball together, and it was a pretty enjoyable experience. I got her number from that, and using like other people's like followed accounts on Instagram, I followed her on Insta, and I think in a week or so we started talking to each other on like a daily basis, and I was having the time of my life. I think this was also around the time where I actually started to develop feelings for her. I started to recognize that I did like her, even though she wasn't like my normal type, I guess. And because of this, I don't. I decided to like be a people pleaser. I thought she would prefer someone who only thinks about her, who only thinks about like them, always available for them, you know. And I changed myself that way, and we, like continued to text and text, and eventually, like I started to like drop hints and like into telling her that I liked her, and I felt like she was reciprocating that. I remember this one conversation was, I said, talking to you always makes me feel so calm. And not even a minute later, she responded, I feel the exact same way. And something clicked in my mind. And that was the moment, just kind of where, like, I knew that I liked her. And I know it's kind of cliche, but, you know, I just wanted to, like, hang out with her. So, throughout, like, I'm pretty sure it was the next day, I asked her if she wanted to do one of her hobbies, specifically one that she really enjoyed, from knowing that she talks about it a lot of the time. But not only that, but it was one that I particularly didn't. I wasn't very fond of it, and, you know, I just wanted to do it because it was something she liked. And I started to change my personality to better fit hers. But, as, uh, as some physics law states, as opposites attract, I started to become more like her. I started to, like, start adopting her qualities, her beliefs, that kind of stuff. And eventually it came to the fact that this actually happened yesterday, I think. And we were hanging out together, one of my friends, two. It was me, her, and one of my friends. And we were hanging out doing something that she liked and that I kind of didn't. And eventually my other friend had to leave, so we were all alone together. And in my mind, I thought, wow, this is a perfect moment. I want to, like, stay like this for as long as I can think. And I remember staring up at the sun, like, just kind of thinking of what my life would be like with her. And through this time, we were, like, talking to each other. But eventually, I kind of noticed something, and she was giving, like, short answers. So, you know, being the people pleaser that I was now, I kept asking her more questions, and her answers just kept getting shorter and shorter. So, noticing this, I realized that maybe she didn't want to talk right now and just, like, stare up at the sun. So I started overthinking. I started thinking maybe she really doesn't like me. Maybe I fumbled this. And we sat there, laying down, staring up at the sun, for around, I'd probably say, a good 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, we both didn't say a word. I was thinking, does she really like me? I was thinking, has she been leading me on? I feel like she's been dropping hints with me here and there. I can only imagine what was going on through her head at that moment. But I really hope it was something positive. Eventually, I was tired of the silence after, again, 30 minutes. And I asked if she wanted to go somewhere. Or, sorry, I actually stood up. We were in like a little sand pit, and being my immature self, I started like making like a little sand castle, and sh- I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I started throwing sand at her, and then she started throwing it back. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I don't know. I just don't know. But I think that's part of the reason why it's been happening. Um, and then I asked her if she wanted to go to a place, if she wanted to go like somewhere, do something, you know, not just be in the sun and, you know. So, as I do, she says, I don't know, do you have someplace in mind? So I thought about it for a little while, probably like 1 minute around, because I didn't want us to go back to the silence again. And I remembered that I had some gift cards that were given to me by a friend for Swig, which, if you guys don't know, is just like a place where you can like customize sodas. And personally, I don't really like it. I don't see the need for it. But she said that she really liked it. So we decided to go. And I drove. And there's a rule, there's a law where you can't drive people who are not your family members until you have had your license for 6 months. And I was not quite up at that moment yet. So, just using my juvenile brain, I just decided to drive her to Swig. And overall, this didn't have any consequences whatsoever. But I just felt that it really impacts how much I would like actually do for this girl. And normally I like shut down friends asking for a ride. I would say no, I don't have my 6 months yet. Or I would make up some excuse like my car's dirty or something. But I changed how I like genuinely my whole personality for this girl. But anyway, back to the story. We were driving to Swig. We got there. She ordered something. And I didn't really want anything, so I didn't get anything. But she got kind of mad at me because I didn't get anything. At that moment, I was confused why she was getting mad at me for not getting anything. And now, a couple days later, I kind of realized that, there's like women have insecurities about like only getting themselves something. So I definitely would have changed that. But sorry. But I don't know. We got the drink, sat in a parking lot. She said that we should go to a park that we played volleyball at with our friends. I was so down for that, being a people pleaser. I honestly didn't really want to go to the park. I kind of wanted to sit in my car with her for some more time. just be alone in our own area. And, kind of fast forward a bit, but being at this park really founded my idea that it really made me start ruminating and like thinking about if she liked me or not. And once we got to the park, I just kind of noticed that she was always like a bit far away from me. Like not like really really far away from me, but like we were on some playground equipment at the park, and she went up the steps to get to this one area that she wanted to sit down at. So I followed her, and then I also sat down. And probably a couple minutes later, she got up and went to one higher floor. And, kind of realizing this, that maybe she didn't want to be around me right now, I didn't follow her. I stayed down there for around an hour. I really wanted to talk to her in this time, but I didn't think of anything that I could possibly say. I kept thinking about like things that I could say, but eventually I got up to make sure that she was like still in her spot and didn't leave me or anything like that. She was still there, and I got up, got to like a more elevated spot to see if she was still there, and I walked back and I said that these playgrounds are not made for people taller than 5'2". Note that she is probably 5'1" or 5 foot, and this next line was kind of the one that set me off. I don't think that she meant to have an impact, like this big of an impact on me, but it did. And she said, I can't remember it quite fully, but it was on the lines of, then you should probably get off. And me, I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'9". But I kind of took this to the heart. I know that she didn't mean it in or I hope that she didn't mean it in like that kind of way. But it kind of made me sad, I got off the playground equipment after she said that, and I went to a nearby tree and laid down, looked up at the sky, and then just wondered, does this girl really like me? Because I feel like she's been like reciprocating my hints and stuff like that. And for the next hour, I kept moving from location to location around the park, just thinking of all the things that she said and all of the different ways that she could have meant it. And I was almost convincing myself that she didn't like me. I was convincing myself that I had no outlook and that there was no hope, no chance for me. And I realize this mistake now. But I don't know. I don't like to overthink, but I do it anyway. But anyway, so eventually I was laying down in a beach volleyball court that we've played at several times. She was probably around 50 yards away. I kept steadily moving away because I felt like she didn't want to talk to me. But eventually she moved over to where I was. And just being myself, I was overjoyed. I thought that this completely changed everything and that she did like me, and I started to have an even greater positive outlook. And I thought that she definitively liked me because she took 100 steps over to a person, the only person that she knew that was there. I don't know what I was thinking then. It all just changes. But you know, still having like this positive outlook, and like being the people pleaser for her that I always was. I, just decided to agree with everything that she said. I said that she was always right. I said that, yeah. But the thing is, she wasn't right a lot of the time. And she knew it too. And I don't think she was taking advantage of me at all. She wasn't asking me for money, anything. I just strictly wanted to do all these things for her. But eventually, kind of me being the guy who doesn't want to make her like scared or frighten her away or anything, I just kind of let her do whatever she wanted, and that was a mistake. I mean, I wouldn't call it bullying, but I went along with it. And we were in a sand beach court, so she started like throwing sand at me. I started throwing sand back, and then apologizing right after, saying it was immature of me to do that. And the normal me, when I first met her and we were friends, and I had no, like, I don't want to say I didn't want to be in a romantic relationship with her, but I didn't feel anything romantic with us. It was strictly just friends. And just thinking back on it now, I don't, I honestly don't know why I changed. I don't know why I kept saying sorry. I knew that I didn't truly mean it. And I honestly want to apologize to her now because I feel like that was extremely rude of me to say something without truly meaning it. Like, and that's one of my, like, greatest morals. Like, you don't say something unless you believe it. And, changing that aspect, it's mind-boggling how much not only me, but, like, people in general can change from just one person that they admire. And just kind of revolving back to the story. But, after she was done doing all that stuff, it was around like 5 o'clock. We started laying down. She lay down. I'm sure if I didn't talk to her, she wouldn't have spoken. And I was standing up, doing random things, like throwing pine cones or whatever. And I just kind of noticed something. That I only saw her smile a couple times in the time that we were hanging out together. And I know that I wanted her to smile more. But changing myself has made me realize that I don't have to change myself to make others like my presence. I'm going back and debating now and thinking that she actually did like me, but as my past self. As a carefree guy who just, liked hanging out with people. And now that she seen what I'm like when I'm attracted to someone, it kind of fell down. After this, I had something planned at around 8 o'clock, and she had volleyball practice at 6, so it was 5:30. I told her, I'm gonna go now. I'll see you later. I made a stupid decision. She was all alone at a park 30 minutes before she had to leave for practice. And I left because I got bored. And that is just so selfish of me. She, stuck with me throughout the whole entire time. Even though if she didn't want to be there, she, could have left. But she didn't. And that And leaving her after her spending hours with me and not leaving once shows what kind of person I am. It shows that, you know, it shows that I'm selfish. It shows that I'm probably not a good friend. But, you know, going past that, one of my friends invited her and her friends to and I didn't know this at the time because I left my phone in the car, but and me to his house to just hang out, play volleyball, eat s'mores. And I didn't think I could go because I had something at 8 o'clock. But it got canceled. And I could go. And my friend wanted me to go because he didn't want to be, you know, just surrounded by girls, as one does. So I went. I was a bit late. I had to help my dad with something. But you know, just me going there because she was gonna be there. And then once she got there, she like had a smile on her face, you know. And I like noticed that I really liked her smile. But that's not the important part. The important part was that was probably the only time that I saw her smile, and that time that we hung out at that little time. And, you know, I was there for a solid 3 hours. Every time I looked over at her, she looked zoned out. Not quite a frown on her face, but she just didn't look like she was having a good time. And again, she kind of spaced herself away from me. And I know that's saying selfish, away from me. She could have just sat wherever she wanted. And that's probably the case, where she just decided to sit there. But it really felt like she was trying to get away from me. That she really did not like me. I don't want to say hate, because that's a really strong word, and we're still friends. But it just felt so demeaning to me that I couldn't even give her a smile on her face while she was hanging out with friends. And, you know, eventually I had to leave to go eat food with some family. And while I was eating, I kind of reflected on how I was acting throughout the day. And noticed, or not noticed, but just thought about if she was being dry or not. And, thinking about it now, she kind of was. But honestly, it's it's something I'd give that to her. She deserved to be bored and to be dry because I wasn't acting like myself. I was acting like a completely different person. I don't like to act like a different person. I really want to be myself around her. But my brain just has an autopilot, it seems like, that just takes me to that mindset. I really did like her. And I mean, I still do. I if she got up right now and said that I want to be in a relationship with you, I want to start dating you, I would jump at saying yes. I would be ecstatic. But I know that probably won't happen. And I recognize that. And as Project Hail Mary says, great movie by the way, I came to peace with myself. Which, in the movie, I love the way he explains it. Where it's just a saying people say. I still like her. But I can't really say that I'm over her. Because I'm not. All I can say is that I've come to peace with myself. And that's okay. And, you know, throughout this, dare I say, troubling experience, I've noticed that it's helped me grow. It's helped me know about who I actually am as a person myself. It helped me find myself. And you know, I'm not gonna say I'm glad that I didn't get into a relationship with her. Because I still want to. But I'm happy that I found myself. And I'm never gonna forget her smile either. But basically, I just wanted to come on here and, you know, just share my feelings. No one's really at my house right now, and I didn't have anyone to talk to. So, I'm just kind of recording this video as a get it all out at 1 a.m. And, you know, making this video I I feel a lot better right now, actually. I feel like I can go into tomorrow with a smile on my face and say it'll be okay. And I guess that'll kind of wrap up what I'm thinking tonight. And I just want to thank you guys so much for just listening to me, for hearing me out. I know I'm not the most interesting guy in the world. I hardly have any subscribers. But right now that doesn't matter. I just want to thank you for listening to this. And if you're out there and you're also struggling with the same kind of thing that I am, I just want to let you know that it's okay. I mean, I'm still dealing it with myself, but I know it'll be okay. Not by, like, going through these experiences fully myself, just by determination. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. It's not a normal video, and I don't expect this to blow up or really anything. I just want to thank you guys for hearing me out. And I will see you guys in the next one.